Have you ever questioned why certain days seem heavy, filled with unexplained anger, bitterness, and the inability to let go? It's a common inquiry that leads us to probe the silent recesses of our consciousness. Feelings, although a standard part of human existence, can feel like a cyclone stirring within us, menacing our calmness if not controlled. They could be the result of environmental factors or deeply rooted unresolved issues that burrow out when we least anticipate them. Some days, these emotions feel like storm clouds on an otherwise bright day, gradually escalating and darkening our mood without any understandable reason. They might appear to manifest out of nowhere, casting a gloomy shadow over our day, making it feel burdensome. This emotional burden can feel overpowering, leading to feelings of impotence and perplexity if we don't comprehend its origin. Anger is one of the most powerful emotions. It's a sizzling sentiment that can be triggered by multiple stimuli, such as frustration or personal insult. Anger can light up like a fire within us, driven by a sense of injustice. It can emerge as intense annoyance, simmering beneath the surface of our consciousness, or as explicit rage, bursting in a fiery explosion that rattles us and those us. Anger is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can motivate us to fight against perceived injustices. On the other hand, if not managed or understood, it can become a destructive force. Uncontrolled anger can impact our physical and mental health, causing a range of issues from high blood pressure and anxiety to depression and social isolation. Unchecked anger can taint our relationships, instilling them with bitterness. It can create divisions between us and the ones we cherish, leading to miscommunication, strife, and emotional distance. It can make us utter words we don't mean, do things we regret, and make decisions clouded by the red haze of anger, jeopardizing the quality of interactions and bonds. Despite these potential downsides, it's crucial to remember that anger, like all emotions, is simply a reaction to our experiences. It's a tool for communication, a sign that something in our surroundings or within us requires attention and change. The solution lies in understanding this emotion, identifying its triggers, and learning to steer its turbulent waves effectively. Unchecked anger, while a natural response, can severely impact our physical and mental health and relationships. Next, we encounter bitterness, an evocative emotion stemming from unresolved anger or disappointment. Bitterness is an unsettling feeling that can be challenging to dispel. It's an emotional toxin that affects our mood and overall well-being. The roots of bitterness extend deep, often arising from personal experiences of pain, betrayal, or loss. It's the residue of a hurtful event that lingers, an emotional wound that refuses to heal. Bitterness persists like a stubborn stain that won't wash away, a melody that refuses to fade. It begins as a minor annoyance, barely noticeable, but over time it grows and becomes dominant. It influences our thoughts, colors our perceptions, and shapes how we interact with others. Identifying the reasons for bitterness is complex. It might originate from a failed relationship, a lost opportunity, a traumatic event, or a trivial slight grown out of proportion. We may experience bitterness towards others, or we might harbor it towards ourselves. It's an emotion that does not discriminate. It can grip anyone, irrespective of age, gender, or situation. This relentless emotion spreads quickly, choking out other emotions. Like an invasive weed taking over a garden, bitterness suffocates joy, replacing it with a persistent, dull ache. It strips us of our ability to experience happiness, appreciate the present moment, or anticipate the future. It's a continual presence that can cloud our judgment and rob us of peace. Moreover, bitterness can become a trap, keeping us stuck in the past, replaying painful events continuously in our minds. It's a cage that locks us in, preventing us from moving forward. The past becomes a haunting, constant companion, with memories becoming chains that bind us. Bitterness has a way of distorting reality. It can make the past seem darker, the hurts deeper, and the disappointments more profound. We may start to perceive ourselves as victims, feeling powerless and wronged. Breaking free from this narrative can be difficult. However, despite its toxicity and persistence, bitterness is not a life sentence. It can be addressed, confronted, and ultimately let go. But in the process, it can choke out joy, trapping us in the past and disrupting our peace. We then encounter unforgiveness, a stubborn refusal to release resentment towards someone who has wronged us. This restriction, ancient as humanity itself, stems from our response to perceived harm. It's an emotion, deep-rooted within us, that binds us to our past. It thrives off our anger, our hurt, our sorrow, creating a formidable barrier against healing and understanding. Unforgiveness is a relentless enemy. It drives a wedge between us and those who have caused us pain, establishing a gap that widens and deepens with time. Like an untreated wound, it decays, spreading its harmful influence across our mind and emotions. It's a force that overwhelms us, that defines us, that controls us. It leaves a mark, a constant reminder of the pain we've endured. This unforgiveness is a tenacious adversary, an unyielding tormentor. It holds us captive within our minds, constrained by a painful past that refuses to dissipate. A silent tormentor, it whispers echoes of past offenses, fueling bitterness and resentment. Yet, the strength to defeat this foe lies within us. It's up to us to break these chains, to let go of the weights that pull us down, to forgive and move on. This path to forgiveness, however, is not simple. It demands courage, strength, and determination. It insists that we confront our pain, recognize our hurt, and accept our past. It asks us to release our anger, our resentment, our pride. It's a journey that may be littered with difficulties, with hurdles, with adversity, but it's a journey that leads to freedom, to growth, to reconciliation. It's a journey that propels us forward, allowing us to discard the weight of our past and grasp the hope of a more positive future. This emotional anchor keeps us tethered to negative experiences, stunting personal growth and blocking reconciliation. These emotions, when left unchecked, pose significant dangers. They're like ticking time bombs, silently wreaking havoc within the complex systems of our body and mind. If not addressed in due time, they have the potential to create a whirlpool disorders that can disrupt our mental stability. These feelings can set off a chain reaction, giving birth to anxiety, which in turn can lead to depression. The constant strain and worry can escalate stress levels to unprecedented heights, making us prisoners of our own minds. On the physical front, the effects are equally devastating. The body, caught in the throes of such emotions, reacts adversely. Hypertension becomes a common phenomenon as blood pressure rises uncontrollably. The immune system, our body's natural defense mechanism, weakens, making us susceptible to a plethora of diseases. The heart, that silent soldier, bears the brunt of this emotional turmoil, increasing the risk of heart disease. The repercussions extend beyond our own person and start affecting our relationships. Harmony is replaced by hostility, as these unchecked emotions transform us into people we scarcely recognize. They spark disputes, fuel disagreements, and create deep chasms between loved ones, turning homes into battlegrounds. Relationships also suffer with hostility replacing harmony and creating chasms between loved ones. However, these emotions don't have to dictate our lives. It's crucial to accept them, knowing they are valid but harmful. Seeking professional help like therapy can be beneficial if self-management gets tough. In-depth self-reflection can pinpoint the sources of anger and resentment. We should cultivate empathy and compassion to foster forgiveness, letting go of bitterness. Stress-reducing activities like meditation, deep breathing, or physical workouts can be beneficial. Building a network of supportive friends, family, or groups is vital. It's essential to establish healthy boundaries for emotional well-being. Focusing on personal growth through practices like gratitude, journaling, or pursuing hobbies can bring about a positive change. And lastly, focus on personal growth through practices like gratitude, journaling, or pursuing hobbies. Remember, the journey to emotional wellness is a personal one, and it's okay to seek help along the way. This journey is unique to each individual. Each step taken, each decision made is a reflection of their unique personal experiences and mental strength, making it an odyssey that is both deeply personal and intensely profound. In this journey, it's also important to remember that it's okay to reach out for help. It could be from a trusted friend, a family member, or a professional counselor. Seeking help doesn't mean you're weak. On the contrary, it's an act of bravery, acknowledging that you're human and sometimes humans need help. As you journey towards emotional wellness, it's critical to understand that this path is not an easy one. It's fraught with obstacles and challenges, moments of self-doubt, setbacks, and moments when you may feel like giving up. But remember, in every journey, it's these very challenges that make the destination all the more worthwhile. And what a destination it is! A state of emotional wellness, a life unchained from the oppressive weights of anger, bitterness, and unforgiveness. A life where you're in control of your emotions, not the other way around. A life where you can express your feelings freely and positively. A life where your emotional well-being is a priority and you're free to love, laugh, and live without fear or resentment. The path may be challenging, but the destination, a life free from the shackles of anger, bitterness, and unforgiveness, is undeniably worth it.